This is Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas.
The average station will play Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. Classic hip hop forever.
I'll probably save it here in case there's stuff up permission. Alright, idiot.
It's amazing.
What's up now, Torino?
This history, it's all lies. It says Hitler killed himself, and then we nuked Japan. And people believe this shit. Jesus.
He's like an
makes
evil
them sleep better
Freemason.
at night, I guess.
Hey, man, what did you want? Is you gonna free my brother?
No, not now. And here's a little news flash. I said that to get you to do something for me.
Man, you real fucked up.
But the shocker is, we are gonna look after him. Because I need him alive as much as you do.
Oh, thanks.
You know, after what you've done for me, it's like you're a pro now. I got double agents in Panama. I want to put a price on your head. A Russian spy, little fat Boris-looking guy. He's asking for clearance to interrogate you.
It's got to be
Russian
James
style.
Wood's voice.
Calipers on the genitals. Feels good. You'd like it.
That ain't nothing cool, man. Just leave me alone. You bad news.
Don't worry about it. The Russians got bigger things to worry about than your genitals, believe me. The whole country went to shit. You know, we tried hard to put a lid on it, but that idiot Gorbachev with his little strawberry in his forehead, he gave away the crown jewels. Still, they got their boy in the White House. That was nice.
So? What you want me to do?
Now listen, I need you to buy me some property, okay?
Their boy in the
Shouldn't
White
cost
House.
that much.
Turn into
You
President
offer them
Trump.
$1. If they give you a hard time, kill them. I'm gonna need you to start doing some real wet work here for me soon, okay? Enough of this little girl bullshit. Now get out of here. Come on, beat it.
Fucking pansy, CJ. Buy something? What the fuck?
He robbed another and a sister and a brother. Tried to rob a man who was a BT undercover. The cop grabbed his arm, he started acting erratic. He said, "Keep still, boy."
Fuck, where is it? I can't see shit. Oh well, just follow the thing.
Punched him in his belly and he gave him a slap. But little did he know the little boy was strapped. The kid pulled out a gun, he said, "Why you hit me?" The barrel said, "Then a stranger."
Man, this friggin' song gets stuck in your head. What is it, like Rob Stewart? Like a bike or something off-roading. Fucking trailer park.
Come on, man!
Oh, taxi goes off-road. That looks like fun.
This is acid.
Oh yeah, there's a secret island somewhere we gotta check out.
Somebody gonna be mad at you for screwing up their ride.
One spike game. That's it.
Ah, damn. You only went in crib.
He's a cowboy. Better be cheap. So I gotta go off and get 80k. That's gonna take a while. Alrighty. Oh man, that sucks. I gotta go off and make some cash. I only got 30k. I need 80k. Alright. I guess the rest of the videos are gonna be about making that paper. Here we go. Side's next to the correct place. Probably defensive. I got the boss. Give this big guy as well, guys. Get out.
Cut the bloods up and kill them. Yeah, we'll just have to kill these bloods first. We can't let them just run around. Fog ring, corrupt the chemicals, guys. And cut the bloods in. Here's proper defensive. Cut what's in and kill them. Kip, just do your and get power up if we can. No, stay in. Stay in. This is the final one. You've got 28 seconds. Go, 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 go. Here we go, well done. Woo! Get that damn fucking thing out of the way.
That 90 gold.
Housing crisis is probably the most in the news, and the Banking Royal Commission, or the report for the Banking Royal Commission, because the banks have been bad, apparently. In my opinion, it's the people that take the loan and the people that give the loan. You know, the people took the money, but a loan advisor is supposed to be able to tell if someone's not good enough to get credit. But the problem is, the person that wants money starts begging. They go, please, please. And then the bank goes, you know what, I'm going to make money from this, fuck it. And then they approve loans that they probably shouldn't do, which is a large reasoning of why debt to income ratio is the highest in the world. I think it's 200%, which means that after you've spent everything for the week, you know, you spend for all your food, the stuff that you need to live, not including any mortgages and things like that. Then if you have $100 left over on average, the mortgage repayment that's due would be $200, which means there's $100 missing from that 200%. So that's why the gauge is used. It should be rocketing back down actually to more normal levels. Like in America, I think it's about 120%. 100% means that you know, you're a beautiful country. You've perfectly balanced your the amount of money you get from your job to the loan that you have to pay. So at the end of the week, you have nothing left over, but you paid for everything. That's 100%. Most most countries are capitalist, so they'll inflate money. So it's more like 120%, I suppose. But it's used as an indicator. I've got to order.
Hi, what are you after?
Hi, can I get a medium flat white with 2 sugars, please?
Medium flat white, 2 sugars. Anything else?
No thanks.
No worries, you can drive through, thank you.
Thank you.
No worries.
This is a good Macca's. Good Macca's are the ones that the cops go to. That's all they can afford. They don't get much money. But it means because the Macca's is probably good. The coffee's good here sometimes. Pay pass?
Hello, what are you after?
No worries, thank you. Normally I get a receipt, but man, they make you feel rude by asking for a receipt. And the Royal Banking Commission report. So if you wind the clock back 1 year, which is not a long time, attitudes of Australians were very different. They loved the banks because the bank prices were up. They loved the share price of banks, but they hated them because the mortgage repayments were getting too high. They felt like they were getting ripped off, and there was a general negativity towards the banks. But the main government party, the federal government party, the Liberals, said that they're quite in tune with the banking community, which is true. The Liberals and the banking are tight. But it's supposed to be like that. It's not a bad thing. But they held off, I suppose, the criticism towards the banks that were lending out too much money, and we're not going to be able to pay it back, the average Australian at least. And what they found out, sorry, I'm waiting for this Macca's, that a couple of them are hot, man. You put me off. So you skip forward to today. So it took a while to do that Royal Commission. Now that the house prices are basically falling, so we're in a decline. We're in a housing market decline, which is it's a generational thing. We haven't experienced this in a long time. We may never experience such a decline. So now we need the banks to give us more money to pay off these massive loans. Well, that's the opinion of a capitalist, I suppose, or what's that dude called? A Keynesian. That's the Keynesian approach. There's another approach, an Austrian approach, which is the opposite of Keynes. So he says you should be saving your money. You know, markets should be allowed to fall. If you've exaggerated the value, such as $1 million house in Australia, it's a bit crazy unless it's a massive mansion, then prices must sink as a result. That's all the economics gets stuffed up. You shouldn't be having too much government or even banking intervention. You shouldn't be inflating the money, or it should have a bubble, which is exactly what we're going through in at least Sydney and Melbourne housing markets, where all the bubbles bursting. So a sharp decrease in the value of the properties. Like an idiot. Awesome, thank you. Thank you. And the shares. So the share market's chugging along, not too well, but not too bad. So it's been pretty average to slightly falling. This is the Australian share markets anyway. And basically, there's not been much good news on the horizon. Most of it's been negative. But some areas have been doing quite well. Two of my favourite, actually. First one, gold. The gold miners have been sneakily rising in the background, and the price of gold actually, which makes sense because of the Trump politics. So when all the world is worried about risk, I think wars coming out or some negative stuff like the trade war, gold tends to rise in value, but slowly. People don't notice it as much. But gold miners themselves have been going up, and iron ore, especially over the last month. I don't know where that came from or what triggered it, but who cares? The price of iron ore has gone up quite sharply, and then some of the miners of iron ore, they've also gone up in value too. It's good if you're long these companies. What else has been doing? The banks are going to be interesting. So when the commission was announced, Royal Banking Commission was announced, maybe 8-9 months ago now, maybe 10 months ago, bank shares started to fall, and they fell for a while, I remember, because I had to do an assignment on it. But then they've been going up over the last 3 months as the news quiets down. Share markets are very much driven by what people say and what's going on, not necessarily the value of the company, which is a bit funny. The report was out today, so if you know how to trade properly, you can short, which is a way of saying sell first and buy second. You can also amplify that short too if you know what you're doing as well. So you could have opened a short today against the banking, because we know that there's going to be nothing positive in that Banking Royal Commission, bar like the Prime Minister coming out and saying something amazing, and suddenly he's going to give the bank a load of money. It's fairly likely that the price of these banks' stocks are going to drop on Monday. We've got a whole weekend to wait for that. So you could have purchased puts, for example. That's PUTS. It's an option contract, and the price of a put will rise in value when the underlying share price falls. So you can buy a put on Westpac or something like that. Westpac, CBA, any of the banks really. Maybe not Macquarie. I'm talking about the retail banking. You probably make a pretty penny come Monday. You sell those puts, and they're likely to increase in value. They're probably going to be expensive to buy because everyone knows about the Royal Commission. But they're likely to drop. That's how professional traders can make a lot of money quickly, I suppose. But I think once the Royal Banking Commission's out and things have been tightened up, maybe about 6 months, give it about 6 months, it's going to be back to normal for the banks. We need them there. The banks are just stuck in our society. As long as we're a capitalist nation, even if you're not a capitalist nation, you're going to need banks. You need a place to store your money, people to borrow money from, and all this kind of stuff. And when you think about it, what do banks do? They run money all day. When you buy a share, what do you want the share to do? You want it to make you money. So it's very wise, I think, to be buying bank shares at any time, actually, for the long term. So you buy something from CBA when you're 20 years old. By the time you're 40, 50 years old, assuming you haven't gone through any silly, strange wars, that share price will be massive, massive. And the banks are the most likeliest things to survive the turmoil and crisis and chaos and all of this kind of stuff in the future. The banks will always likely survive. We always need to trade money. So I actually believe in buying a lot of the banking and finance stocks. Some of the other sectors I don't even watch. I don't give a toss about the healthcare sector. It's too difficult to monitor. Suppose it's good long term. Some of the energy stocks are just pain in the ass because they go off the price of oil. Oil is very difficult to predict the direction of. And you can use market news a lot for oil. So if some kind of production crisis in Kuwait, wherever the hell oil comes from nowadays, you can use that to signal the price in the oil. But I wouldn't recommend it. It's quite difficult. Well, some people are good at it. What else have we got on the Australian share markets? It's pretty small, that's the problem. The Australian share market, although we have the fifth largest, fifth most traded currency in the world, so the Australian dollar is used as an in-between between US and Japan, or US and the UK. US and Europe. So a lot of people will buy Australian dollars because of our safety and our regulation, which is now in danger from the Banking Royal Commission. They hold it in Australian dollars and then move it over to their secondary currency. So we're the fifth traded. But our share markets and our just size of people here is small. We are not a large nation. And our capital markets show that. The US dominates. Russia's a lot bigger than ours and they're struggling. So we have really good markets, but they're a bit tiny. So a lot of the time there's not much to invest in. But I believe in, I'm a derivatives trader, so I trade on risk mostly. I wait for shit to hit the fan, and that's when I trade. I wait for humans to be freaking out, panicking, and making stupid decisions, basically. That's the time you want to jump in and trade. If you use a few robots or algorithmic trading, I've got a few other techniques that I use to help the emotional response. So you're basically not making stupid gambling decisions. You let the machine control it somewhat. You can make, well, I believe you can make quite a pretty penny, depending on the amount of money you want to put up there. Trading on risk, waiting for markets either fall or rise sharply based on some news, and then you leverage it up and cross your fingers. I don't buy shares very often at all. I'll maybe do that when I'm old. I'm not old yet. I don't have kids. I don't have a wife, so fuck it. I'm buying derivatives, mate. And I'm home. How black is that? You can't see anything.
What's happening? Hey there. I was on the job for 4 hours this morning.
What you been drinking?
You know where you are? You're in the jungle, baby!
Let's move on. Watch out, folks. I need your beer. You think that's funny?
I know you're angry. I know you're dreaming.
What's up, dude? Reckless and dangerous. Hey, give me that paper. Yeah, I'm just killing time here. Come on, oh, man, my car! Oh, watch it with that. You got beef, huh? I get you down! Look at that! Show's over, buddy. Move, homie! Headshot. I'm gonna have some fun with you, asshole. You up your poochie.
Move, punk bitch.
Your brain stop.
Start without me. Ship.
You idiot! In my way. Get out the car, dude.
Drop on the bitch, homie.
can't hear jack shit at this speed. You a comedian? They gon' cut us up at this speed. More gas.
Only people holding a valid pilot's license may enter.
Song now. Eat this shit. Hey, come on, man. I thought we was bang.
Lock it up, baby. Woo! Yeah! Lock the shoulders. Lock your arms. Now lock that neck. Just raise those fingers in the air. I swear it's midnight funky out there. There's a party over here, there's a party over there.
Have you ever seen such a sight? Party people going day and night. San Andreas' fault. It ain't my fault. Don't pay taxes. Spend it on the phone.
Dumbass Mort! Just like Adam and Eve.
Now you commit suicide.
You talk about. You talk about. You talk about.
That's going in my retirement fund. Ah! 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 Hey, I'll have that now.
What kind of freak fight is this?
Thank you.
Get the army. I'm a...
There we go. I'm sorry you can't see. It's just night time in Australia. I really don't want to shine a light on my face. I could. Just get out of this complicated area. Okay, so I've made a very big call today. A very big call. I believe an Australian financial crisis is imminent. It may happen in this week. I believe it may happen in this week because it's Monday today. It's not a small thing to say. It may trigger panic and things like that. But I had there's some factors that I was looking at today during the morning, and I was struggling to get on a computer. I was so busy, and everything's just not working in Australia. I was struggling to get on a computer and just have a look at the data. Every time I sat down at a computer, something would happen. It was real frustrating. And I eventually got to uni, sat down, and of course the university internet's not working. Horrible day in Australia in terms of just things work. It feels broken. That's beside the point. What I was trying to look for is two events have occurred very recently that are significant for Australia. We'll start at the beginning, which is the trade war between the US and China. Who fired the shot? The US of A. What Trump did, I'm not sure what caused it. He got the shits with China, and he said, I don't care, I'm gonna put a tariff on all of Chinese goods. All of them. He didn't give any specifics. I think he's sick of it, basically. So I'm just going to tax you guys. That's like firing an AK-47 into the enemy. It's a big one. The next day, which was last night, China retaliated by devaluing their yuan. Yeah, they devalued it, or brought their price of it down, which has a way of making more money for China. I won't explain why. China have what's called they adjust their exchange rate to what they believe and they suit. A lot of the rest of the world, the free world, we have a floating exchange, and that happened after World War II. We had a big agreement. A lot of the free nations, the Allied nations, had an agreement together, and we all agreed to have a floating exchange rate so we can all work happily together and let market forces decide the prices. What USA doesn't like is that China does it at will. They're a communist nation. Wow, look at these clouds. A bit of fog. They're a communist nation, so they just set it whenever. And that's their firing shot. They fired a bazooka back at America and just devalued their own currency overnight. Keeping in mind, China has a lot of American dollars in their country. They hold a lot of American debt and money. So America and the China and the USA are actually very tired financially. They're stuck. They buy so much stuff from China, and China hold a lot of American money, which is why they're at war now. Now, what the hell does this have to do with Australia? Australia's main export, or the way Australia as a country makes money in compared to the rest of the world. I'm not talking about if you make money in Australia here. I'm talking countries competing against each other, which is what we do. Our main way that Australia makes money is by selling coal and iron ore to China. Beyond that, we really do not have much going on in an international stage. We really don't. There's a few little bits and pieces, but certainly not enough to keep a whole country going. We're reliant on the selling of iron ore and coal to China. What has happened yesterday? The price of iron ore is tanked. It fell about 20% or something overnight. Bang, just fell down. And today, on the stock markets, the response was heavy on the Australian stock markets. What happened is all the iron ore miners dropped like 3%, 4%. They were all eye-wateringly high, to be honest with you. They've dropped because the price of iron ore has dropped. That's bad news. That's very bad news, and it's tight. And because China devalued their yuan on top of that, that's what's triggered the iron ore price collapse. It's almost China's decided, well, you know what? Fuck the world. We're going to do what we want to do.
And it feels as though they've just made that call. It's dangerous for the rest of the world, actually. I need to see what America does in response. What are they going to do? Keep tariffing things. So that, I believe, is going to trigger what I'm going to call an Australian financial crisis, an AFC. It's very important because Australians are the ones that coined the global financial crisis. We were arrogant enough as Australians to coin the last global financial crisis. I believe we're going to have an Australian-specific crisis. Our housing is going to fall another... we're only halfway through the falls because of some of the factors I spoke about in my last video. So our economic factors there's a lot of negative headwinds against us. I'm just going to mention them very briefly. Most people are sick of hearing them, but you will see what happens this week. Man. You're going to wish you paid attention. Low interest rate environment, low wage growth, eye-wateringly high housing prices that have started to come off the boil for a year, so it's dropping. There's another one that I've forgotten about. There's enough in those factors to cause a bit of a crisis. So there's no positive news in the immediate future for Australia. I can't see how they're going to chase all of this back. So I think this week we're going to have a lot of scrambling. There may be a lot of scrambling this week, and probably next week and the week after, we're going to feel it more on the ground floor because all the rich banks, the large commercial institutions in Australia, they're going to react to what happened yesterday. They're going to have to. All the treasuries and the finance advisors, they'll be going nuts tonight probably, trying to figure out what they're going to do tomorrow. They're biting their nails because bad things have happened overseas, and it has affected Australia today. We had a significant drop. I looked at China's stock market, it dropped as well. So it's really important to watch what happens in the US if you're invested. I'm not, I'm all cash at the moment. And that's what you do to protect against a crisis. You liquidate, turn everything to cash. This is if you own a house and shares. You're wealthy. We've got to watch the American markets tonight because they open. It's Monday. It's a very important day. We have 5 days of trading. And in 5 days, that's a period of time that took for crises to have less than that time. And unfortunately for Australia, China's they're still at war. China and America are still at war, and I don't think they want to buy as much coal off us anymore, iron ore. They're going to somehow perhaps use the price of iron ore, because it's from Australia, to piss off America perhaps? I don't know. But Australia is in a very, very poor position right now to be in the middle of this trading war. We don't have anything to protect us. So now we've got to worry about America putting tariffs on the Chinese goods, which just makes the Chinese goods more expensive for us. Exactly the same product, we're paying more Australian dollars for it just because Trump believes he's at war. And on top of that, now China's saying, screw you guys, we're just going to devalue our currency over and over and over again, which is really unfair to the rest of the world. It's a very communist act. It's asking for war. And what I tried to do in class today, so I spent a good half an hour trying to look at for positive factors that may keep the price of housing high, that may keep... There's none. The supply is very high right now. So if you just have to look around and see how many units that are not even finished being built. There's still buildings. This is what happened before. There's heaps of supply. The demand for people wanting to buy houses has dropped. It went up a tiny little bit, which is called a dead cat bounce. It's going to drop again. Who's going to buy a house for $800,000, $900,000 Australian dollars when they cannot get $809,000 Australian dollars? The bank won't lend that money out to anybody. The only way out of it is for the house value to drop. So yeah, it's going to be. I think we're going to have an Australian financial crisis, and the housing price is going to be a major trigger for this. And add on some of the Banking Royal Commission findings and things like that. I believe economic forces, it's called Adam Smith's invisible hand, is going to slap Australia within this week, next week, or the week after. Within the next 3 weeks, I'm making the call. I think things are going to turn sour in the capital markets in Australia. I'm not sure. The usual things will happen that happens in a crisis, but probably more amplified this time around. So people will lose their jobs. I'm not sure if you remember during I'm older than I look, the Paul Keating era. The guy that said the recession that we had to have. It was directly after Bob Hawke. Everyone loves to talk about Bob Hawke, and he's great and he's great and he's great. He caused the recession. Yeah. So after Bob Hawke, Paul Keating came in and we had a recession. It wasn't because of Paul Keating, it was because Bob Hawke, exaggerated things. And then we had a significant recession. And what I remember for that period, I was a child in Australia, and I remember driving through St. Clair. It was St. Clair, I know exactly where it was, I remember. And what I remember seeing, it says St. Clair. I know the area really well. I've lived there, it's in the western suburb. I know St. Clair so well. They had furniture at the front of all properties, and I remember saying, Dad, why is there furniture at the front of the properties? And I also remember our own financial situation being pretty poor. There was a lot of panic in our own house. We were renting at the time. And he couldn't answer it. And I never knew. And it always stuck in my mind that no one could answer that question. Why were people putting their furniture out on the front lawn? And no one around me, my family, could answer it. They didn't understand why, whatever the news was saying at the time. We're due for a repeat of that. That was 28 years ago. Every 10 years we're supposed to have a bit of a cycle where that happens, but hopefully not so severe. We've built it up over 3 years. It's going to hit us pretty hard. So I think their house price, was it SQM? SQG? There was an analyst at SQM, I believe, that was brave enough to call out the reality of the statistics, and he got burnt. Everyone was yelling at him saying, no, that's not true. He's correct. The house price, complete top to bottom fall in the dwelling prices is going to be about 30 to 35%, I believe. I'm not invested in housing, so I'm taking a very unbiased view of this. But we need the price of housing to come way down, or some of those other factors, all of them to change, which means we need to get paid a lot more. That would help. The interest rate needs to go up, way up, not down, up, so there's more business activity. So that we're getting more, banks can get more return, savers get more return, there's more return on investment. They're keeping it low on purpose because they're scared with the housing market. If they raise it anymore, people are just not going to be able to get any money at all. So the credit is not available. It's a credit squeezing. Remember that term from the GFC? There's no money around to pay off to pay off the debts and keep the value of the housing so high. It just doesn't exist. So if your house was worth, say, on average $1 million at the top of this cycle, it's going to be worth about $600,000 to $650,000 at the final at the bottom. Pretty significant fall. So I'm looking for houses in that St. Clair region, for example. They're going to have to come down to about $450,000, under $500,000 basically. And that's just based on how much people can afford to pay off. 30-year house mortgage is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And also it's taking more than one individual to pay off a house. That's why we have a 200% debt to income ratio. It's not one person paying off the house anymore. It's the mother, the father, and a child often as well. Like an adult child. I read that in the paper, an adult child. That doesn't even make sense, the word. Someone under 35 is a child now? No. It's gotten ridiculous. It shouldn't be 3 people paying off the house mortgage. It should be one person, the worker. So there's just way too many factors that are against Australia. And the triggers happened last night. Also check out the price of gold. That's been rising, which is another sign. So I think on the news tomorrow from Tuesday to Wednesday, we're going to see some panic on the television about finance. Suddenly there's going to be finance in the news. And I think I can't say what's going to happen. No one can predict what happens in a crisis. But I think we're going to get slapped by Adam Smith's invisible hand over the next 1 week to 2 weeks to 3 weeks. And that's for people that have investments. It's called a Minsky moment. All asset prices are probably going to drop. The best way to protect against this is to stick with cash. Stick with cash. As all these asset prices drop, the Australian dollar within our local market increases. So if you have $1, that's going to be worth more money as everything else falls in price. It's the only way to survive a crisis. You need to liquidate, basically. Sell all of your assets before they all drop in price. Housing, shares, I don't know about bonds, but they're most of the things that Australians have, and we're a bit screwed because our super is tied up in a lot of this stuff. So as Australian citizens, what are you going to do? Just take out your super? You're not allowed. It's illegal. We have to stomach these financial crises. I can't go up and collect my super because I think there's a financial crisis something coming. My super company will say that's illegal. So I have to suffer a loss in my super, on my savings for my retirement fund because it's the law. That's ridiculous. So yeah, I think Australia is going to get taught some harsh financial lessons. We're going to have to catch up to the rest of the world in the next 1 to 2 to 3 weeks. And unfortunately, it's going to be very, like a Great Depression. It's harsh on the people of the country, especially poor people and middle income earners. Even the rich people cop it a bit as well. But watch a few movies of what happens in the Great Depressions and things like that. And I hope people are prepared for poverty and things like that. Because people that are calling themselves millionaires today because on book, their book value of their house is worth X amount of dollars. Within a year, 2 years, they may be in a caravan or a rental, really cheap rental property or something like that. It's just as simple as that. So please take care within these next couple of weeks. If you haven't adjusted your housing portfolio, or honestly, you have one house and you've tied everything to your house, I feel sorry for you over these next couple of weeks. It's going to be very difficult for you, I believe. I'm sorry for that news, but every fact that I'm looking at is screaming at me for that reason. And I'm going to coin it something this time. I'm going to coin it an AFC, an Australian Financial Crisis. And I believe it's imminent within the next week to 2 weeks to 3 weeks. If I had to give a rough confidence level, it's up at about 75%. You want to be at like 90% to be sure. But 75% is enough for me. And I'd love to be wrong here. I tried my hardest today to try and find some good factors, something good that will cause the value of housing to rise. Not a single one. Not a single factor. I couldn't find any factor other than the weather, that we have nice weather. That's not enough, guys. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully I'm wrong. I really do hope that I'm wrong. But I think we're going to have a financial crash in the Australia specific one in the next 1 to 2 to 3 weeks. Alright, cool. Thank you for listening.
Okay, this is a test of Altspace. This is a virtual reality test. So I'm just gonna play around and see if I can record it back later. This is the upper room. I've got cables everywhere. And I've got to sync up the sound, which I'm hopefully will get done at the start. Let's play some YouTube for a good test. And let's see. Doesn't really matter as long as it's not going to. Let's go to some comedy. Position my cabling a little better. Music's not playing either. Probably because I'm on Wi-Fi. I don't want to play that because, of course. Okay, let's have a check. That's the home button. Back. Back. Discover. It's a quick grab for loot. I need loot. It's a quick grab for loot. I'm gonna do all the big ass ones. Tab engine. This one? No. This one we just looked at. This one. Stone Golem. Trust File. I'd have to do these ones. Oh, except the last one. As old as I are, and I'm proud more around here. Rubbish. Doesn't matter, it's worth it for the loop. Let's see what's on Zandalar. Ooh, it's very good. Definitely want to be doing that. That rubbish. That one too. Pretty easy. Let's just hold Dune. So we'll quickly do that Drust, that column once. It's not far, so I have to go to 4 maybe. Got to start playing a bit quicker.
Good day to you.
With the general chat talking about the games dying off. It happens every time this expansion after about 5 weeks. People get bored because they smash it out too quickly. I didn't do that this time. Next man in the background. Oh, wrong one. I'm just checking my Twitch stream sounds okay. Wait for that music to kick in. Snoop Dogg. Very fast. The delay's only about 1 second. That's really good. Isn't too bad. I don't want to get dumped for copyright all the time. I'm gonna turn the game music off. Let's see.
Before young Portolan can inscribe their first scroll, they need to practice their basic shapes. Can you show these little ones how it's done?
It's pretty good. It's quite low. I'll leave it like that for a bit. Let's have a poke around. Gotta go do that golem. Carl, he's up in the waterfall.
We have reports of an enemy in this area. Slay them.
Where's the stone golem? Hey, it's a world quest, so you can queue up. Sign up with this guy. Give him a hand. Oh, maybe not. Someone's already started it, so fuck it. Okay. I'm doing all those quests before I start the treasure missions.
Well done.
Too easy.
People of Drustbar are safe.
Go do those easy ones on Zulbazzar. It's X-Men in the background. The old cartoon. Very cool. Sonic. Yeah, I'll get on a plane. Like a boat. I gotta be fresh off the boat. I fold. Voldoon.
Hello.
Please. What do is it? So there's a Mega Drive sound on. Screw it. Comes out a bit loud. We'll give it a try.
Voldoon is a wasteland hardly worth fighting over, which is why the Horde has neglected it. We intend to use that to our advantage.
It's me. Oops. Two was already on. No. Guess. There's a few big ones here. Especially in the middle. I'm gonna run to it. There's that other big one. Yeah. It'll fly. It's a stupid terrace.
Fancy a cuppa?
So, yeah. Mega Drive in the background's bad. Yes, 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, sounds alright. The delay. I think I spent too much time digging around with my strings. My setup. Let's fix this up. The stream gets a bit delayed, so falls behind, starts to lag the Sega Mega Drive emulator. Man, he's far away. Oh, that's right, so he's one here first. Yeah, it's hard. You have to turn the Sega sound off.
I lost some of my
Small one.
soldiers to a foe nearby. Avenge their deaths.
Probably up here. Yeah. All these quests. Don't stand and stuff. So I'm gonna do the big runner in the middle. It's a big ass run, it's worth it. 150 war resources. Can't fly yet, no! Couldn't levitate. I thought I was gonna die. I didn't. Ooh, that Mega Drive stream's alright. Oops. Stupid bombs. Shredders, goblins. In the desert. I don't know, let's see. Some kind of fireworks on. What is this shit? Close. There's a big house thing. Ooh, it's huge. I'm gonna have to sign up across my fingers.
Preys on more innocent lives.
Yep, someone's yeah. Let's sign up. This changes you to the server. Whomever it is that started the group.
A dangerous threat lurks nearby. Destroy it before it preys on more.
Give everyone a buff. Dodge stuff. Easy loot. %. Look how powerful everyone is now. No.
We now have one less threat to worry about.
Is it in this zone?
I have word of a dangerous
The flight whistle had hero on it. Went a lot faster than
Take it
normal.
out, but be on your guard for any surprises.
I don't really want to go here. I want to go home. But let's have a look what's over here. It's worth it. Let's get a flight in. Grimwatts. I'm gonna give my phone a bit of a restart. Street Fighter noise hard. What the hell was that? Get some weird sounds in my earphones, man. Oh, it was the beam. Ooh. Where I'm going. What's going on with it? I'm on the wrong network or something.
Forces are threatened by this unsavory creature. Dispatcher.
Let's have starter group. It's not in. What is this? I never know. So see, I'm in the I'm looking for group. I gotta wait for people to come up. This guy's probably a touch too big for me. Unless some hero comes in and smashes him. A few people coming in. Got lucky. I'll stay listed. This purple rubbish. Oops. Gotta do this in my group because it's dying very. Where is it? Let's get the flying mounts. I'm getting jealous. Have to do it. So does I got anything serious? Nah, it's rubbish. Which means I probably should do the stupid island. Ooh, money. Some money. Okay, flight path. We'll fly to Fort Victory. Catch a boat back. Flight master.
Safe travel.
Let's see if I can look what's going on. See what the play the game. So I'm mucking with the stream. Get home so I can have a break.
What's on your mind?
Probably should do little quick sprints like that instead of big long recordings. You can just highlight it quickly. The Twitch stream, I mean. Man, my bloody forgot about my table. I did some big mission before I finished this one. It's excellent. I've got some power up grease. Increase. There's my resources. Should I beat? No, not many. I picked up those bonus rolls, and that thing was expensive. Those easy ones. Yeah, as well. Prelude. What did I get? This thing. Gotta go to Sithilus. So this new power is in the heart of Azeroth. I'm in the portal. Get in another portal. Bit of 50 cent in the background. See what it does. Minor. Ooh, radius increase. That was a major. Minor time between. Oh, faster. Pretty good. Give it to me. Rank 3 too. Boom. That's excellent. Alright. Doesn't have to change anything. Excellent. Take it back home. What's this thing I picked up? 355. Rubbish. Some shopping. There's a lot of gold in World of Warcraft. Ooh, I'm racking it up, man. But like 174,000. I never spend it, that's why. 18. Gotta get those too. I'm gonna have to raid at some point. I'm gonna dump these quests, all these things. Really gotta get rid of a few. Sick looking at them. Because it's Saturday, I'm gonna check the auction house. Make sure I put some stuff up for sale because the server's busy. Let's have a look. Do some appraising. We need to just sell that. I'm never gonna get rid of it. There's 72 gold for it. I'm sick of looking at it. It's gonna get sold. It's not a bad price. So we'll stick them up nice and cheap. 400. So we'll put up 4. I've got a few and let's put up 5. Shards. Green means they're too cheap. Not really worth putting it up. The darker the color gets, the more it's worth it. And it really dropped in price. Let's get rid of a few of these. Nice cheap, sick of looking at them. Sale, mate. Put 2 up. Didn't quite mind. They always go for a lot. They reset your talents. For 295s, 290. Get that gold, man. These I'm sick of looking at. They're going on super sale. I bought heaps of them. The market tanked on them. It was bad. Lucky it's just a game. Bye. Piss them off. gonna need these. I'm not gonna use them. Oh yeah, old guild call for these. Look how cheap they are. You could afford heaps of them with the gold he has. Fucking retard. Supersize them. Alright. Take a break. Get back to regular broadcasting.
Start without me.
Move in.
You can't stop me. Shit! You won't catch me, fool! Come on, asshole! Give me a break! You fucking me up!
What's happening?
Hey there!
I was on the job for 4 hours this morning.
What you been drinking? You know where you are! You're in the jungle, baby! Let's move on.
Watch out, folks.
Aw, this fool! I need your beer. You think that's funny? I know you're in. I know you're dreaming.
Freeze up, dude.
I'm trying to drive.
Reckless and dangerous.
My car wrecked on.
Hey, give me that paper.
Yeah, I'm just killing time here. Come on,
Oh, man, my car! Oh, watch it with that. You got beef, huh?
I get you down. Get your ass. Game
Show's
over,
up,
asshole.
Move, homie!
Headshot. I'm gonna have some fun with you, asshole.
Damn, dude, my ride!
Chew up your poochie.
Move, punk bitch. Start without me.
You idiot! In my way.
Get out the car, dude.
Drop on the bitch,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Behind the guy.
Getting slammed.
Alright, so come in close, guys. There's no reason to be all the way out unless you're running your liquid gold. Ads are incoming. Let's pop hero. My shield's down.
Right.
Okay, my healing cooldown's dead.
Oh, good. Just kill the boss.
Khaleesi's got heaps.
Run around and collect the trash before you loot the boss. You want the free gold.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Up here.
Taunting. Wrapped it.
Red Parker's about to kill the raptors, guys. And nice whack.
Plain. We can do it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Burn Roker, guys. Priest and Kelly, get to the moon marker. Get to the moon marker, guys. I need to get out of.
That's good.
Nah, the Stompy does. Healing you get by 50%. No, those green circles, someone needs to stand in them and soak them. Yeah. Alright, kill the second ad.
Oh, Medusa, you died last time. Puts his all in.
When he sided with the Horde.
Yeah, I was strafing away and I got sucked in.
Alright, so run out here. Jump on the bird. And be prepared to be converted to Horde.
That was not part of the deal.
It is, so...
I bet I'm like a stupid little green thing.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Two. I got punted and they couldn't run.
2 seconds and I could have my trees out.
Keep going, come on. What was that?
You can kite.
1%. Oh, you keep.
2, 1.
Cluster cannon's about to happen, so get ready to move. Now.
What's that?
Why did those bots not die? Get him.
Around it.
Kill East green. Kill East yellow. Kill East purple. Can I get big heels and sneakers, please?
Against yellow.
Too late.
Against the green. Against the blue.
Oh, sorry guys. No.
Over here, because he doesn't get vault charge from trying to heal. I do that all the time. I look at my frames and there's boss queues and...
We can catch up during transition phase, but we need to... Good luck on the map.
Is that all up?
That is the fight.
Do a bit of recording. So I'm recording it, so this isn't live. This is recorded, so the quality's a little bit better. I'm collecting gear. Apparently I've been doing it wrong. All you gotta do is collect gear and then scrap it. And you get this expedites Titan Resident. You can get pretty high eye level, so you can just run around each day collecting gear, which is a lot easier than what I thought it was. Like killing this guy. Oh well. It gives gold, but I've got to do 4 of them.
Ship cannot be allowed to wreak havoc on innocent civilians any longer. Take it out.
Plus I've got a new interface.
abomination cannot be allowed to wreak havoc on innocent civilians any longer. Take it out. Such an abomination cannot be allowed to wreak havoc on innocent civilians any longer. Take it out.
It's a massive stun. What's this guy doing? I'll give him a quick heal. God, I'm nearly dead. I'd heal myself, mate. Please, Vampiric Embrace. That'll get us through. He's immune. 29%. So I've changed it up. Tried to make it a bit cleaner. My old one was real bad. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I don't dislike anything. It's all good. 18%. Oh my god, that guy died. Great. Let me show him how it's done.
Well done.
Sweet, that's the emissary quest done. This one down here. 20 seconds till I can call a bird. Much nicer. Very smooth. This used to be real slow not long ago. There was a problem in Windows. It took me freaking 4 hours to figure it out. It was just a power setting. I've never seen it before. You can see a lot more of the detail in the recordings. My computer's alright. This is like the food bowl of the new expansion. Storm Song or something. Pick up some gear from the emissary quest. I'm really just recording it to see what it's like when I upload. See if it's still pretty.
We must overcome this peril. May the sea carry us through.
Events, activities, world, people. Okay, so this is Alt Space VR using what am I on, a Samsung S9 with a Gear VR. This application is called Alt Space. It's pretty much a I don't know, like Facebook, that you walk around in the world and talk to people. So let's go if we can find some people having a chat. And then I'm gonna try to build a world. I've got to build a gold room.
That's not mine.
That's muting. I just muted myself, so I'm not. People can't hear me.
In Cold Lazarus, they said, I found the egg in Cold Lazarus. It was yours.
Okay,
Nice
but
try.
mine doesn't lead anywhere though. Mine doesn't have a clue to go anywhere.
Okay, well, where's Glitch Island or whatever? Did you put some sort of clue? Because they asked me about something pretty damn specific.
Glitch Island?
Let's see. Let me look. I'm gonna see what was said.
Ancient, I won't say. Ancient, I won't say. I get it.
Oh no, the color glitch.
No. Ricken 478.
I know what I got now.
Yes, it's 4 pages back. Let me go ahead and read.
Who's these?
It's hilarious, Tommy. I like how you laugh.
I've got to find it. I'm done with Cold Lazarus, but I'm not sure about
But unless we're gonna kill you, which we are, so I mean, you know.
No, we can't kill the young. Michael, turn around and go somewhere else.
That's true. We can't kill the young. That's too far.
Who's...
we have limits.
He has limits.
Hey, bro, what's going on?
How you doing?
Exactly. We only kill the young sometimes.
Sometimes. Well, sometimes the young have to go. What if they're like evil? Well, that's a bit slack.
I mean, you know, sometimes you just have to get rid of the waste.
Hitler conundrum.
The waste. Children are not waste.
Exactly.
Write that down.
I mean, are they not?
No, they're not, because you were a child once, and that means if you were a waste, you wouldn't exist now.
Yeah, but almost, I would waste of space, and I need to get rid of the rest of the waste of space.
That's slack.
Yeah, but at the same point in time, there's a Hitler syndrome, and that's just a catch-22. I don't want to be involved in that.
Hitler? Regarding Hitler?
22, it's kill children.
Well, no, it's a Hitler conundrum. Like, would you kill Hitler when he was a baby?
Ah, yes, that's the question. Everyone thinks yes until they're in front of him, and then you can't do it. That's the answer. You hold the knife above him and you go, I can't do it!
Anybody laugh? No? Nobody laughed? Okay.
Killing children isn't really that fun. It's alright. You'll be alright.
I was happy to get the word conundrum.
I was just kidding. I do not want to say Hitler.
No one ever does.
No, you gotta speak about him. Well, he was the biggest mass murderer ever. He's held the record for that. He killed the most amount of people, Hitler. Not a very nice guy.
Yeah, but you're just focusing on the negative, you know?
Well, if Hitler didn't win, he was going to blow up the world. That was his plan. He had a, what was it called? Annihilation plan or something.
Just like everybody.
That VX rocket. He was the most evil man in the world, and he killed children.
Say you did kill Hitler, and there was somebody else right behind him who was willing to kill 30.
Yeah, I've seen Butterfly Effect. I'm not mucking with time. It is as it is. I'm not being responsible for breaking things.
And maybe Ashton Kutcher is Hitler. Let's think about that.
Why talk about Nazis for? Everyone hates Nazis.
I'm talking about Kutcher.
Well,
no, it started off as baby killing, and then it moved to
so is
Nazis. Yo, Jane Gag.
You guys get me out of that.
That was big. It's funny.
Is that my name, Big Millsy? What time is it in the States? Must be getting late.
Yeah.
I'm
I don't
straight
think
now.
they get you. I'm the one that got you.
Yeah, you're probably right, but you're kind of a sick fuck, so I get it.
Whereabouts are you?
Australia.
Yes.
Same? You're an Australian?
Yeah.
I'll have to add you.
Yes.
There you go. Well, I'm stuck in New South Wales.
Same here.
2:30.
Oh, you poor man. Nah, New South Wales is alright.
Where are you at? Sideshow Cobb?
The New South Wales police will get me if I say anything bad. I'm in Windsor at the
Where are
moment.
you from?
Sorry?
I'm in Windsor. Whereabouts in New South Wales are you?
Every time I said this is motherfucker.
Sydney.
Okay.
Ah, Sydney. I moved out of
San
there.
Antonio, right?
It's too stressful.
Can't even hear you.
Good.
Okay. Well, the fact that you like what
so
time
loud.
is it in Texas?
Too loud or too quiet?
Maybe like.
Oh, the other guys.
Oh, Who is this?
That's what the bubbles
The
for.
guys, yeah,
Who is
punching
this?
Well, I
them.
had to check, man.
Who is
You get used to moving around.
It's late.
And like the more you move away,
Late as shit.
but my back doesn't work very well. Okay.
That's the only time I come into Allspace, when it's too late for to be up, and I'm up anyway.
Fuck.
And you gotta try the fireworks
Yeah. And that's when I meet the best people.
Where are they?
over here. It's the only thing that does anything cool.
Well, I mean my Allspace friends.
Okay, yeah. Like, most of my normal friends have no idea what the hell this is.
That I actually tried to point one of my friends what this was all about. But apparently
Yeah, you gotta stick it in the fire to make the fireworks go off.
Oh fuck.
profiles on your Go.
Makes sense.
No, yeah, good.
No, it took me ages to figure it all out.
Oh my god.
Fuck.
Yeah, but
How long have you been doing this
to
for?
like,
Maybe
using my Go.
5 goes. I'm recording it now
5
for
goes, yeah.
Facebook. Yeah, I'm trying to record it and put it on Facebook or something. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I've got to build some rooms for uni.
Facebook Live?
Nah, not live. That's too difficult. I don't have the internet.
That internet shit, yeah.
Oh, of course he's left.
What are you people doing? Why are you not using the fireworks?
Yeah, Selka.
Alright, I love you guys.
Craig.
Goodbye.
See you, Jane.
Hi.
Hi.
Jane and Craig.
He's yeah.
Right now?
Oh my god.
What? He doesn't seem to be there anymore. What? Oh, shit.
So we can stick it in someone's head. Yum. Oh, you can't. They eat it.
Yeah, no, they have, yeah. What is that?
It's to encourage sharing.
It's in the description of it.
Alright, that'll do.
Sounds like a Jimmy.
So, let the I want to make sure my Twitch stream loads up before I start the tutorial. I'm using Restream. Yeah, there we go. So what I'm going to do is rebuild OBS, which stands for Open Broadcast System.